Hello everyone. Today's topic of presentation, so I'm not yet Tony Parker, it will be after me, so I hope I will warm the room for him. So today's topic of presentation is why we build websites and e-commerce with Odoo and what you should do. There is a QR code for you to scan if you have any questions, so feel free to scan it. I'll let this slide for a few seconds. So if you have any question, do not hesitate, I will answer them at the end of the presentation. So, I'm sure most of you have heard Fabien and the many talks, ad and marketing campaigns towards the website application in Odoo that have been pushed in the past few years. So is it really that good or is it just false premises? So today, I will try to show you as a Odoo partner and a Odoo web agency, how at Sigma Agency we build beautiful and professional looking websites, real life examples for real clients. And just a little presentation. So if you would like to be able to create some nice looking website like this one in Odoo, well, today's topic of presentation. So, but first, who am I to talk about Odoo websites? I started building websites during my university years, mostly with WordPress and Shopify. And quickly, I became the CEO of Sigma Agency. And we are what we call a full stack Odoo partner. So what does full stack mean? It means that we are very good in the backend processes of Odoo, so the standard application that almost everyone knows. But we also implement the front-end part of the Odoo, so mainly web solutions such as websites, e-commerce, and also web and mobile applications. And I will show you what I talk later on. So what? So let me give you a bit of context about the situation and why we are talking about this today. So we started as a classical web agency. As I say, we were building a WordPress website for showcase websites, and then we started quickly to move towards e-commerce with Shopify and WooCommerce, and build also web and mobile application. We were building nice looking websites, but once the client had grown, we always had the same trouble. It was linking the website to the management operations of the company. And so often we had to build connectors, bridges, and even with that, the client still had difficulties to operate the many different tools he was using. And so, for instance, he could be using a B2B sales software for invoicing and quotation, but it was not directly linked to the website, and so the client was always frustrated. They just paid 15,000 euros for an e-commerce website, but they are not able to use it when they had grown. And so I hated the fact that I was selling something that was useless in its state when SMBs were quickly growing. So one day, a client asked us to build a simple membership website with automatic invoicing and recurring payments to manage around 2,000 members. They had also some specific requirements. But I'll let you try to build that in Shopify or WordPress. You'll end up using many plugins. Most of the plugins are not connected to each other. Once a plugin is updated, the other one gets deprecated. And it's always the same problem. So naturally, we started looking at Odoo. It was back in V15, so for that client. And we saw that Odoo has some potential. It has also a website application, a member application, an invoicing application, and the possibility to do recurring payments for members. So we were like, hurrah, we have found the best solution. Rest assured, it was not as easy as you may think, because as I like to say, Odoo comes natively with 80% of the features, and the last 20% is why we have a job as a partner, is to build the last 20%. So what's great about this solution is that moving to Odoo allows you to have some nice flexibility and scalability of many web projects. And so more and more clients were asking us for websites with a management tool inside it. People don't want a standalone website, they want to be able to articulate the company in one place. And so we started pushing Odoo more and more. And what's great about that is that since V16, the website application has been greatly improved. It's more performant, it's faster, and every year you have new specifications that are coming up. So actually, why do I love Odoo and what is great to building website? First, the connection between the backend and the frontend is quite easy. So anything you can build on the backend, for instance, a custom logic, you can show it on the frontend and use it on the frontend for your clients, your users, for portal users, and so on. Also, most application comes natively with Odoo. So you have a sale application for your e-commerce, you have invoicing, and you have a whole panel of standard tools to use and improve the website. And so if you can just connect those tools to the front end of Odoo, you have a great solution. And also, it's not that expensive because you don't have to rebuild a full user interface, you don't have to rebuild an invoicing platform, it comes with Odoo. Also, the framework is quite easy to use. Once you start building websites in Odoo, you can build what we call themes, so custom themes, such as themes that you were able to build in Shopify or WordPress. It's the same, but now you have the power of the ERP behind you. So how do we build Odoo websites? So we have two approaches. The first one is the most classical one. It's for 90% of our clients. It's using custom Odoo themes. So it works for corporate websites, B2B websites, e-commerce, portals, and so on. And I'll explain you a little bit later with some examples. And it's also what we call headless solutions. It's more advanced, it's only for a few type of clients, and we build what we call web and mobile application connected to Odoo. I have actually a presentation after this one with one of our clients talking about how we build a headless solution in Odoo for a big corporation. So first, building custom Odoo themes. How does it work? We usually start with a design phase. So we have two designers in the company. We use a tool called Figma. And in Figma, we build the complete prototype of the project. Once the client has validated the prototype, we create the theme in Odoo. And so we use something that we call snippets. So I don't know if you know, but in Odoo, the snippets, we need to wait for the 5G. Okay, so here the snippets are the little tools that you can drag and drop on your website. Odoo comes natively with many of them, but when you use Odoo, most websites look the same. So what we do is we build custom snippets that you can drag and drop on your website, and it already has the design pre-configured, and you can just change, for example, the image with another image like this one, and it's completely integrated in the website. So it's quite easy to use. And with that, your website doesn't look like any other Odoo website. And what's great also about that is that the client can use the snippets to build the website and add new pages, customize some product pages, for instance. Also, we build the theme to be migration optimized. So usually when you start to do a bit of customization in Odoo, it often happens that you have difficulties to migrate. But thanks to our approach and the fact that the theme is quite separated from the standard applications of Odoo, you can migrate quite easily. And then it's fully integrated to the backend. So for instance, you want to build a custom contact form, why not Odoo? You want to build a custom product page, why not Odoo? You want to have some sort of logic in the backend, you can show it on the front end. The second solution, as I said, is the headless architecture. So what does headless mean? It means that you separate the front-end application from the back-end. So usually it works for big e-commerce like Nike and Adidas uses that technology. So you have a front-end web application and you connect to the back-end through APIs. And so here in Odoo, we can do the same logic, but with Odoo as a back-end. So you use the full power of the ORM of Odoo to connect to a standard and an external web application. And so it's the same process. We start with the design phase with the designers in Figma, and then we build the front end independently. And what's also great about this solution is that you can keep the native apps in Odoo, and the front end can be migrated separately from the rest of the application, and so you can build anything on top. So it's very, very optimized for migrations. So what does this matter for SMBs? Well, first, your website is linked to your business operation. So anything that happens on your website is directly linked to the standard application of Odoo. And so once a client visits the website, if he buys something, you can track him, upsell him, contact him, and so on. And it's completely integrated in the rest of the standard flows of Odoo. Also, what's great is that most of the applications are native, so you don't need to build a new application to manage your company. And lastly, it's very important, but the migration are quite simplified. So with the Odoo approach, you can migrate quite easily the websites and the Odoo backend also. So now let me maybe show you a few examples, because talking is nice, but showing is much better. So the first one is a simple corporate website with a custom themes and some custom snippets, and also a CMS-like content tool. So here, as you can see, it's a website built in Odoo, so I'm in the Odoo environment. And everything you see is built with custom snippets, but also you have the standard application. For instance, here you find the blog, so it's taken from the Odoo blog pages, and you can easily modify the pages. So yeah, it's quite fast usually, but with the 5G, it's a bit less, it's a bit slower. So you can, for instance, add here a text and image history, and you can easily change the content. It's completely dynamic. If I delete this, if I duplicate it, it's the same. I can work with the snippet quite easily. And on the other hand, you have also a page with project. So it's the dynamic part of the website. So the client wants to be able to edit project by itself, like in any CMS, WordPress or Webflow. You have the CMS part. And here in Odoo, you can do the same. You can create a new model in the backend, where, for instance, if I click on New, I can add logo, image, name, description, and so on. And Odoo will dynamically generate a new piece of content on the front end. So that's very powerful for the people who like to build CMS-like websites. The second project is an e-commerce one. It's quite a big e-commerce. It has many sales. It's a big company, mostly selling to B2C clientele. So they sell a custom PC, a gamer PC. So the design is maybe not for everyone, but for the young generation, they like impactful design like this one. And so here again, we are in the Odoo website builder, and you can customize quite easily the website. And also, if you want to show a product page with some new elements, also the product page uses the standard elements of Odoo, and everything is nicely incorporated. What's also great about this website is that it has more than hundreds of thousands of visitors per month. And so we were able to build a scalable architecture with AWS for this client. And so, for instance, during the very busy month of the Black Friday month, we can increase the server to allow to have hundreds of thousands of visitors per day. And it works quite well with Odoo. And so, for instance, they do more than 1,500 orders per month, and the website works perfectly well. The backend is completely standard, so they use the MRP to build the PCs. Once the PCs are built, they can livre to the clients, and then also they manage the stock, the inventory, and so on. The full accounting is in Odoo. They have two companies. Everything is inside Odoo. So it's a great project, and it works very well. Another one is a bit more complex. It's still with Odoo, but it's a portal website for the commission of psychologists. So in order to be a psychologist in Belgium, you have to pay a 95 euro fee to get the title of psychologist. And here, for instance, we also build a custom website. So it's the website I showed you in the beginning. But we have dynamic sign-up form. So anytime a new psychologist wants to get to the commission, he can enter a new sign-up form. We have also some custom portal pages. I will show you that, and a custom psychological a psychologist search page. So more than 28,000 psychologists payment per year, and they're using this website in Odoo. So here I'm in the My Account page. As you can see, we have a bit changed the design of the page, but for instance, when you click on My Account, you have some more information that you have natively in Odoo, but everything you see here is dynamically generated from the contact user in the backend. And so, for instance, anyone can edit the profile, change anything else, and it will be completely in real time modified in the backend. Also, you can see, for instance, documents. So the client or the psychologist can download a PDF certificate of the year where they were a psychologist. So you can also download some nice PDFs. There you go. And so it's generated with Odoo, and it's always stocked in the backend. So it's very easy for the back office people at the Commission of Psychologues to see what the clients were doing. You can also, for instance, order new documents. So everything is running smoothly. And last but not least is a more advanced solution. So this one is not built directly inside the page builder of Odoo, but it's using the headless e-commerce approach. And so we have a custom storefront. So here it's built with Next.js, so it's quite advanced. It's extremely fast, and we can manage more than 200,000 tracks. So the client can buy musical licenses, and anytime a client or user does an action on the front end of the website, on the back end, it's completely generated on the back end. So I will show you here. So we have a new module called Jamendo, so for the name of the company, and anything you see, so Odoo becomes the database, and anything you see on the back end is linked to the front end with APIs, and it's really fast. So the website in itself has no database. The database is Odoo. And for instance, you can do some very nice customization, and you are not limited by any technology, and it works very well. So that would be it. And also, this project was about 2,000 hours long, and we were able to migrate from Odoo v17 to Odoo v18 in a day of work. So everything was thought to be easily migrable, and with this solution, we had the most easiest migration ever for the biggest project of ours. So thank you, everyone, and feel free to ask any questions if you have. It will be a pleasure for me to answer. I will be leaving 5 minutes early because I have another talk at 2 p.m. So the question will be just for 5 minutes.
Yes, I will try to make it quick, but first, thank you for the presentation. We have a first question. Have you seen the new design of website Odoo version 19 with a new way to show multiple images, and what do you think about it?
So yes, Odoo is implementing every year new snippets that we call, but it's still I think they have like 160 different snippets, but with that you cannot always build the most custom website and a very personalized website. So we always start with a design from scratch. So that's why we're not really scared of what Odoo is doing, because we can also do it by ourselves and be very independent.
Okay, thank you. Another question. Do you have these snippets where you explain to us for easy website design or the Jamendo on Odoo Marketplace?
Sorry, which one? Odoo Marketplace. I don't understand the question exactly. Is it asking if the website design in Jamendo on Odoo? No, so everything we keep in it's for ourselves and for the client. So we are not planning to sell it on the Odoo Marketplace. We like to do it custom. The client has the IP of what we do, so it's always for the client, for the end client.
The second question, can we create a marketing funnel with A/B test order bump or upsell proposition?
Yes, so for A/B testing, you can build some different, for example, a landing page with different URLs, and you can test some marketing funnels with that. So for instance, the client FlowUp uses a lot that, so they have some specific pages where you can A/B test some marketing material. And also with the for the last, what was the last question? Yeah, and for upsell proposition, we still use the standard of Odoo. So if you want to add to cart a product, when you are on the cart, for instance, you still can buy other elements. So the upselling is still in the standard way of Odoo. We have not changed anything regarding that.
Okay, so for this one, where is your next talk about the headless use
it's
case?
in Auditorium 500, so a bit below over there. So feel free to come if you want, but I'm pretty sure most of you want to see Tony Parker. But
Okay, what is the hosting of your customer? So SaaS, Odoo-based, or on-premise?
Yes, we never build solution on the SaaS platform. It's always either SH for most of the clients, and for the big clients that want to have their own infrastructure, we build on-premise. So for instance, this one, so FlowUp is on-premise, Jamendo is also on-premise, and we manage the maintenance and the servers by ourselves, and the client just has to pay for the servers. It's quite big AWS server. It's quite expensive to run those websites.
I have more question here. This one will be pretty long. So if your website or the website integration with the headless front end is serving millions of concurrent users who are customizing their product in real time, how would you architect the system so that it prevents the race condition on stock level recovers from partial API or from server failure?
Well, since it's in real time, so the API is always first come, first serve. So if someone is doing a purchase on the website, it will decrease the stock on the backend. And if a user on the backend is also, for instance, scanning a new product that is coming to the inventory, it will work the same because first come, first serve with the API.
How do you think about shop system to Odoo regarding SEO ranking?
So most of our websites are well ranked. So for those clients, it works very well. For instance, the FlowUp website it has a very good SEO. Also, the Commission of Psychologics, it works quite well. Since the last few versions, Odoo is becoming much faster and has been optimized for SEO. Any client can still optimize on the page itself. And us, on the backend, when we build the website, we try also to use state-of-the-art, let's say, HTML structure, so that the robots of Google can also find the website quite easily. So we don't have problem of SEOs for any of our websites.
Okay, maybe this one. What is your experience by moving customer from another platform, let's say WordPress?
It's quite difficult to convince the customer in the first hand, but when we show the power of Odoo as a backend, they are quickly convinced. So for instance, for some clients, we start with the connector with the existing Shopify, and once they see that the backend has so much power, we start to move the website to Odoo and build it completely in Odoo, completely customized.
So the following question is, do you pre-produce their own website one-to-one when you immigrate them from another platform to Odoo?
No, we just migrate the code, and since the static pages of the Odoo website are QWeb pages, so it's static, it stays during the migration, so you don't have any problem. The only thing that you have to do is, for instance, add again the snippets in the edit menu of Odoo in the page builder. But for the rest, since it's a static rendered page, you don't have to do you don't have a hard migration.
Okay, thank you. I think it's our time for today, and your next presentation will be in Auditorium 500.
Yeah,
right?
5 minutes.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
in 5 minutes. Thank you.